All right, gather around. It's story time. I want to tell you this story because it's important to me that you know that the daily notes, the Align Life podcast, the videos, my Keep Pursuing series talk, all of this content I create around the authentic life, the alignment of spirit, mind, body, and money, the importance of being creative. All of this content I'm creating, I'm not just creating because I think it's interesting. I'm creating because I believe it. I live it. I've experienced it. And it's important for me that you know that I don't just talk about it, but that I actually am about that life. And so this story is a great illustration of how I leaned into my intuition. I listened to my heart, which was conflicting with my mind, to make a very important decision that on paper would have made sense to make, and most of you would have made it, but it was not the right decision for me at that time. So we'll go back to last fall when I was introduced to a friend of mine, and he works at another firm, and he got me connected with the president because he thought there was a lot of alignment, which I agreed with, between their firm and mine, and my views on finance and spirit, mind, body, and money, and how those all align and connect to each other. So I had some conversations, and there was some mutual interest to kind of explore what would it look like if I brought RLS Wealth and joined their firm. Brought my clients with me, was still their financial advisor, but had some support, an assistant, another advisor to help do review meetings, which would free me up to do even more content, which I love to do. I am a creator who is also a financial advisor, not a financial advisor who is also a creator. I am a creator first and foremost. It just took a long time to figure that out, but I have an expertise and specialty that allows me to be a financial advisor. So could I come to this firm and create content while serving my clients and help their firm grow, and also help unite this wealth management side with kind of this life planning coaching side? So we had these conversations, and the first major meeting was going up and meeting the team. And if I'm being honest, I was going up on that meeting hoping I wouldn't like the team, hoping the culture wouldn't be right, the vibe wouldn't be right, because then I could write it off and say, hey, I explored it, but it's not the right time, not the right company, and move forward. I get up there and I loved everybody. The opposite of what I wanted to have happen happened. Everybody was great. The leadership team was amazing, all around the same age, all very active, similar values, kids the same ages, playing the same sports. Like, these were all people that I could see myself being friends with in addition to working with. The rest of the team was awesome as well. Like, the culture of the firm would be a perfect fit for me. If I was going to write out a culture of a firm, it would look like them. So I leave that meeting excited. I'm a little frustrated as well, because now I know I got to pursue this further. This is too good of an opportunity not to pursue. So conversations continue, getting a vision, getting excited about, like, what would it be like to be a part of a team? What could I do from a creative standpoint if I had other people to create with, so it's not always just me? And what's the impact we could make in clients' lives and growing this firm? So really excited. The next important meeting was bringing my wife up, Ange, to meet everybody, because no decision like this is going to be made without having her as a part of the process. And we go up there, and I'm thinking I get a couple answers from her: a yes, which I know is a yes, or a no, which means I need to look closer, because Ange is a little bit more skeptical than me, and she could throw off a false negative just because her skepticism's there. Maybe she doesn't fully understand the vision. Just means I need to look closely. But her no wouldn't necessarily mean a no. Her yes would be yes. We get up there, spend the day at the office. We go out to dinner. Dinner's like a group of friends, not first time people meeting. It was awesome. We leave and are heading home, and she tells me she feels really good about the opportunity. Nothing made her nervous, which meant got to keep on pursuing. And at this point of the conversations, where we're discussing numbers, and it was on me to provide them a spreadsheet that kind of showed them what my revenue of RLS Wealth looked like. Got to figure out, can they afford to bring me on? And I want to make sure they can afford, and I also have the ability to grow my income in the future as well. So I needed to get them the spreadsheet. And 4 or 5 days pass, and I notice I haven't set that spreadsheet up yet. Like, I'm excited about this opportunity. Everything about it seems perfect. Why have I not sent them the spreadsheet that keeps this moving forward? All I needed to do was clean a spreadsheet up I already pulled, make it so my client's information was anonymous and confidential. Why hadn't I done it? And I didn't know, but I noted it. And I knew there was a reason, because it was a subconscious block, not a conscious block. I got the spreadsheet cleaned up and got it up to him a day or so later, but I didn't forget the fact that I held up the process on this thing that I was really excited about, and I had the vision in my mind of what was possible. And it was around this time I started to work with my coach. Shout out to Phil. And in our very first meeting, we talked a lot about my independence. And I was transparent through all the conversations that my freedom is really important to me. Creative freedom, freedom to explore, freedom of my schedule. Like I've been spoiled, and then I have complete freedom to build my practice around my life. And as long as I'm taking care of my clients, I have a lot of freedom. I didn't want to give that up. And I didn't want to give up my creative freedom as well. And I believed them when they said, hey, that's not going to be a problem for us. But still, there was this thought about independence. Can I maintain the ability to collaborate with whomever I want to? And so our meeting, we talked about independence. And something cool happened that night. And I want to bring a moment real quick. You see the bald eagle behind me. Up until that point, that bald eagle, which is my spirit animal, my guide from the divine, had not shown up in the whole process. I wasn't looking for it. I didn't feel like I needed it, but I hadn't seen one yet. And that night, going to pick up Roman for basketball practice, the night of to talk about independence, I see the bald eagle. Mental note. Fast forward to the following week, meeting with Phil again. We're talking about independence some more. That afternoon, picking the boys up from school, another bald eagle. So I'm seeing that the omens from the divine are aligned with my heart. I'm thinking about independence. I'm feeling like I'm called to independence. My mind is saying this is a great opportunity. If they meet you on the numbers, you got to do it. And then the final cool experience was driving up to Michigan State for a talk with some financial planning students at a class. I'm listening to The Alchemist as I'm driving. I've never listened to The Alchemist before that day. I've read it a bunch of times. And as I'm listening to the book, I am just frequency level way out the charts, like super high energy as I'm listening to Santiago go on the journey of his personal legend. And I'm envisioning myself as Santiago on this journey to figure out if this move is the right move for me, for my family, for my clients. I'm just really high energy. And I'm at the point of the book where they tell Santiago to pay attention to the omens, that the desert will give him omens, which will act as his guide. And I look out my driver's side window, and over the field, I see a big bird flying. And as it turns, I think I see a white tail, but I'm not sure. So I say, Leo, hey, that looks like a bald eagle out there. What do you think? Can't quite tell. And I promise, I kid you not, I turn and look straight ahead again, and a bald eagle flies right over my car to the point where I can see its eyes and I can see its beak. And at that moment, I knew what my decision was. I knew what it had to be. I had to follow my heart. I had to listen to my intuition, which was saying, as great as this opportunity is, I can't take it. They met me where I wanted to be on my numbers. Financially, the reason I said most people would take this, financially, I'm better off today had I joined that firm. But it wasn't the right time for me, and my heart was telling me that. My intuition was telling me that. And what I realized is when that bald eagle flew over me while I was driving, I realized that if I took that job, as great as it is, and as much as I love the people, and knowing that my clients would be in good shape, if I took that opportunity, everything I've written, everything I've talked about is now null and void. I'm a hypocrite. I'm a liar. I can't tell you to listen to your heart. I can't tell you to trust your intuition. I can't tell you to align your spirit, mind, and body and listen to the signs from above if I'm not going to do that myself. So I knew what I had to do. I had a conversation on that following Monday, and I told the president, I said, look, I wish I could give you something tangible about why I can't take this opportunity. Like nothing financial, nothing team, nothing vision, like everything is perfect. My mind is saying, take this position. But my heart is telling me now's not the right time. I need to maintain my independence. I don't know why. And the bald eagles are confirming it. I shared the bald eagle stories with him because he knew that's who I am. And so I want to share this with you because I'm not just writing and not just talking about all of this. I'm living it. And you can go back to my daily notes and you might be able to find them. I was writing about this in the moment. It just wasn't clear. But if you go back after hearing the story, you can see the daily notes and piece together that was when this was going on. All of this is documented, just not told to you in an obvious way like this story. So it's important for me to know that you know that I'm not just talking about this. What I'm telling you to do, I'm living. And the reason I'm so obsessed with it and I'm so passionate about it is because I know what it does. I know what it can lead to do. I know what walking the path to your authentic life is like. I know how it makes life better. I know how it makes things more fun. I know how great it is. And I want that for more people. So I plan on telling more stories, whether they're my stories or stories of clients, and maybe I get some clients on to tell their own story. But I want you to know that the things I'm writing about and talking about, I'm actually living. And if I wasn't, I wouldn't be doing it because I can't. It's not authentic to me to tell a story that I'm not living. Everything that I'm telling, everything that I'm sharing has to be true to me because otherwise I couldn't do it. So listen to those signs, listen to your heart, listen to intuition, and follow those and let them act as your guide. And I promise you it will lead you to good places. On the other side of that conversation, the clarity of where I'm supposed to be going, what I'm supposed to be doing, how the authentic life is, how that's the business I'm building, and Arlos Wealth, soon to be rebranded, which you're going to hear about soon, that feeds into that, how my content feeds into that, other ways that I can help people. Everything became more clear. My focus has been more driven. Everything is feeding in the same direction, but that didn't happen until I had to experience the perfect opportunity on paper, the perfect opportunity for my mind, but it wasn't aligned with who I authentically am today, what my authentic life calls for, and I had to go follow my heart. I had to stay on the path of the authentic life. Now, who knows what the future holds? Maybe one day I circle back and join them. But for right now, listening to the omens was the right thing to do. Listening to my heart, trusting my intuition, led me in the right direction, I have no doubt. It will do the same to you if you can have that alignment and you can find the ability and the confidence to listen to it. Good things will happen. All right, that's it for today's story time. I'll be back with more stories in the future. Share your stories down below. If you've ever had an experience like that before, drop it in the comments so more people can see that these things actually happen, which will help them become more aware of it when it happens to them, and they can begin to see how this can lead them towards their authentic life. We'll see you in the next one.